Hi, I'm John. This is the new M2R Racing RS-R. Let's go and check it out in more detail in the studio. See you there. Okay, so we're in the studio and we're going to have a closer look now at what makes everything special with the new 2025 M2R Racing RS-R 125 and 140. First of all, it's basically, look at the bike. It's completely different to anything that we've had before. We're looking at this kind of style of plastics, very similar to the KTM and the Hasselberg bikes. We've got two colorways. Both bikes are available in both colors. We've got the white plastics with white, red and black. I mean, this is a real eyeful with the red frame. And then we've got the black bike with the black, silver and red graphics and black frame. Both bikes look awesome. Now, when I come into the studio and see this bike sitting here, I just think, whoa, look at that. It really shouts out to you. I mean, you know, it's not subtle, is it? It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. And it's my favorite. But then I look at the black bike and it looks completely different. It looks classy, it looks expensive. And I think, oh, which one do I want? And you think, oh, I want the red one. But then you see the black one, it's like, oh, guys, which one would you choose? That's the question. Okay, we're gonna have a closer look at some of the really nice parts on this bike. As I mentioned, we've got the new style plastics. We've got a handle. If your bike falls over, you can lift the bike up from here. We've got almost unbreakable plastics. You've got to be very unlucky to break a plastic on this bike, but plastics are available if you want to buy them. We've got some really notable standout features. I'll come to the engine and the exhaust in a minute, but first of all, I want to talk to you about controls. So really, when you sit on the bike, it's got a feeling of being really kind of well put together and expensive. So if I just sit on it now, when you're sitting on it, your kind of feet sink onto those massive foot pegs. I mean, they're super grippy. You're sitting on the bike and you think, wow, this is a really nice place to be. It's not cheap, it's not cheerful, it's just really feels expensive. So we've got M2R fat bars with a 4-inch rise. We've got a nibby quick action throttle. It's really snap back, quarter turn throttle. I think the highlight of the cockpit area is these fold back levers. I mean, they fold in 3 different positions. You've got forward, down and up. So you've got to be kind of like a hero if you break them, basically. And they've also got like a little cut off in the aluminium. So if you did kind of get in the position where the lever wasn't going to bend, this little end will fall off and you still got most of the lever left to play with. These are like, that's a really nice touch, and they feel really nice to use. They feel really expensive. Now we fitted the bike as standard with brush guards. If you don't know what these do, basically if you're riding through the woods or riding through brambles or places like that, the brambles and the trees and your hands are going to be protected, so it's called a brush guard. It just brushes everything off. So that's the kind of bike. Oh, one thing I forgot is the stop and start switches. Now, the kind of pit bikes that we had before, they had this like a little kind of round red dot, which was the stop button. So we've upgraded the switchgear on this, and it's very similar to Yamaha's. So you've got a stop and start button, but they're a really nice tactile feeling button. They don't feel like a cheap kind of break, something that's going to break in 2 minutes. They feel really nice, and they're waterproof as well, so you can be out in the rain, you can have the bike underwater, the switches are still going to work, the engine might not run, but yeah, really nice bike. The foot pegs, like I said, gives great support. The bike is really narrow here with the seat and the plastics, and you can really, when you're standing up going through kind of tight areas, when I'm riding kind of through kind of woods or riding through kind of technical areas, I tend to be standing on the bike rather than sitting, and what standing on the bike gives you is more control. So if you want to pop the front wheel up to get over a log, or you want to kind of steer the bike, you can use your body weight on the foot pegs to steer the bike. Now if you don't believe me, try it. When you're out on your bike next time, just put some weight through on one of the side and watch the bike turn or lean to one side or the other. It's a really kind of a really super cheap way of steering the bike quickly. One of the standout features, again, on this bike that you've never seen on another bike, it's the exhaust. It's got a power bomb exhaust. These are normally reserved for a higher capacity bike like a 250. So basically the power bomb creates a little bit of back pressure. It's meant to make the exhaust quieter. Well, I don't think that's worked, but it creates a little bit of back pressure and gives you a little bit more performance. But it's a really nice thing. If you get a close-up of all the kind of welds, and you know, once that's been used a few times, you're going to get really nice kind of heat marks around these. But it's really nice, really nicely welded, a really nice feature. And then mated up to the kind of front exhaust pipe, we've got our Series 2 muffler. Now this is the departure from our standard muffler. This is really nice. The finish on it is really brushed aluminium. It's really nicely finished. It's got a real quality feel to it. I mean, if you look at it close up, it's just really, really nice. Much nicer than what we've had before on our other bikes, and in fact on any other pit bike. While I'm down here, let's talk about the shock absorber, because we've got a really nice adjustable rear shock. Now, it's adjustable as standard. We don't charge any extra for it. You've got fast and slow for rebound, and if you want to turn the compression up, you can adjust it on your spring. Here also we've got the rear brake lever. We've got a really nice super grippy surface here for your boot, so you're not going to slip off when you're using your back brake. Here we've got a little connector for the reservoir, so if the bike goes over on its side and you hit a rock, you're not going to burst your rear brake reservoir. That's just a nice little protector. Moving towards the back of the bike again, really nice front and rear brake setup on this bike. It's a little bit different, it's a little bit more upmarket than the standard brakes, give approximately 10% more stopping power. Really nice caliper, really neat stainless steel fixings. The bike also comes with CNC chain adjusters, so again, most bikes will just have a plain piece of aluminium. This has actually got the kind of markings. Basically what that does is just enables you to kind of get your rear wheel alignment completely true. So you might be like, say, 7 in on each side. Basically that means the bike's running true, your chain's not running at an angle, and you're going to get more life out your chain and sprockets. Now, you've noticed that the back wheel, the rim takes really nice touch. It's a stainless steel spoke, stainless steel spoke nipple, and a steel rim. Now we've gone for steel rims for strength. You can buy aluminium, but these are much stronger, much more better, take more abuse. And if you're going to give abuse, you want to give some traction. So we've got some tyres that are really super aggressive. They're super motocross tyres, approximately 15 mil in depth. Now the nice thing about these is they will really cut up the ground. So if you're on mud, if you're on grass, you're on gravel, you're going to get some awesome grip out of these tyres. If you run your friend over, he's going to have these indentations in his skin for about a week. So I don't think he'd appreciate it if you do run him over. Onto the top, we've got a gripper seat fitted on this bike as standard with the M2R Racing logo. These 4 little sections here, they're just kind of for cosmetic to break up the seat, give it a more attractive design. But again, it's nice and narrow, it's firm, but it's also soft and comfortable. What I didn't mention as well is the fuel tank is 6 litres. So most pit bikes will run a 3.5 litre tank. Okay, that's fine, but if you want to go out all day, you want a 6 litre tank, and this has got it. So this will give you literally a whole day's running on the bike with this fuel tank, so you're not having to take a jerry can out with you. We've got a deliberately off-angle fuel cap with a breather hose and a CNC breather outlet. As well as CNC chain adjusters, we've also got a CNC chain guide, and that basically is quite substantial. It stops your chain from jumping off the sprocket and is crucial to the bike's performance. We've kind of gone a bit OTT on it, but you know, why not? Okay, on the front of the bike with the forks, we've gone for a 48mm fork. The reason why we've gone for 48mm is so you don't get any flex. So they're like a really strong over-engineered fork for the bike. They're kind of upside down, all got stainless steel fittings everywhere. And then on the top of the forks, we've got these little screws here, and what they do is you undo them, Once you've been riding for say a month or so, you get, even though the forks are sealed, they're only sealed by a rubber here. So what you'll do, you'll get a build-up of air pressure in the fork. If you undo this little nut here, this little screw, it releases the air pressure. You put your screw back in, tighten it up again, and you're back to factory setting. So if the forks start to get hard, you undo the air pressure screw, let the air out, do it back up again, and away you go. With the controls as well, we've also gone thinking, how can we make the bike better? So we've actually fitted and upgraded the gear lever. Most of the gear levers fitted to pit bikes nowadays tend to be like a chromium sort of plain with a rubber end on it, and they're all right, but this is really nice. This is a lovely design. It's got some kind of indentations in there just to kind of give it a little bit of a design feature, but it's also fold back. So if the bike goes over, like the levers, this is fold back so you won't break your gear lever, and it's strong spring snap back. So the bikes are identical, 125 and 140. The only difference is the engine. This is the engine. It's made by Zongshen. We believe Zongshen make the best 125 Honda clone engines. This one comes again with Nibby carb, and it also has the electric start and kickstart. So basically kickstart is okay, but electric start, just press the button and go. It's just so easy. Once you've had an electric start, you will not want to go back to a kickstart bike, believe me. This is powered by the YX 140. We believe the YX engine to be the most reliable and the most best performing 140cc engine. We've also fitted it with electric start, and once you've had electric start, you're not going to go back to kickstart. It's got a kickstart as well as a backup, but the really nice point about this engine is our carburetors that we fitted. They usually come with a Mikuni or a Molt carburetor on the 140 engines. And a lot of forums are saying, oh, upgrade it, get a better carb, because you get some problems with them. So a lot of people say, go and buy a Nibby carb, get a Nibby carb on your bike. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, that is a Nibby carb. We fitted it as standard because we want you to have the best riding experience and the best performance you can for your buck. So we fitted the Nibby carb as standard, so you don't have to go and buy one. Another difference with the YX 140 engine, because you're running more power, and you're more likely to be racing it, we fit it with a massive oil cooler. The difference between this oil cooler and the kind of standard oil coolers that you see on most pit bikes, which are kind of like a aluminium square that literally do not work. We used to race the bikes at Rowra in the Pit Bike Championship, and we did, I think, 5 laps with the standard oil cooler, and we noticed a massive drop off in power after about 5 laps. So we fitted an oversized oil cooler on it and experienced no drop off. So this is why we fit this style of oil cooler to this bike. You're not going to get the power drop off that you do get after the engine's been running for 15-20 minutes and it's hot. Right, so I've shown you all the little bits, boys, but the bit that you've been waiting for is, what does this exhaust sound like on this bike? Let's fire it up. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. We'll try and answer them as soon as we can. Let me know what your favourite colour is, black or white. I'm going black.